Folks, it's that time again. We are back with another weekly slate prediction, and welcome back to another episode of Domandgonzsportstalk, Sports Talk, where we not only talk about Ravens football, but everything going on in the NFL. I'm Doms, that's Gonz. We're bringing you another Wednesday night, technically, probably going to be whenever you guys watch it. Just watch it. You love us, so you're going to watch it. Bring you another nightly video talking about week 4. We are officially in week 4 of the NFL season. We are going to be giving you our predictions for this upcoming slate. Gonz, how you feeling on this Wednesday night?
I'm doing really good. You look like you're in a much better mood now, too.
When you don't care anymore, it's just a beautiful place.
He still cares, guys. He still cares.
And then it's just like, you're good. You're living in solitude.
He still cares. Just wait till this weekend. I'm doing well. I'm ready to talk some football. It's time for week 4. Before we get into the games, though, I think we should talk a little bit about our previous week, those outcomes. So it was a pretty insane week in week 3. I finished with an 11-6 record, and Dom had some issues, finished 8-8.
I want the records to show some of those games could have went either way.
And same could be said for some of mine too. I could have had a much better record if the Rams would have not blown a 19-point lead.
And Green Bay didn't just wet the bed against the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, choking a 10-point lead with 4 minutes to go in the game. That was unbelievable. That was a Ravens fashion loss. So again, it's not just us. There's some
happens to us more often than not, though. That's the problem.
It is, but it's a league-wide issue as well. Patriots, Steelers, that could have gone either way as well, as the Patriots were the more dominant, more physical team, and they fumbled the ball 6 times and lost. So, man, Tom was annoyed about that one. He should have been – he would have picked the right team if they didn't fumble like
I had high hopes for that Patriots team. I did.
I was impressed with Drake May passing the ball. He was pretty good. He was throwing some dimes out there. I think he only had 1 interception that was deflected off the line of scrimmage. But he did have a fumble, though, so he didn't have a perfect.
Gotta hold on to that ball, man. Ball security. It's important.
Yeah. So that brings up one last thing. Oh, we both had the Baltimore Ravens losing. You already know how we feel about that.
Winning. We both had the Ravens winning.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Well, I meant to say that the Ravens lost and we had them winning. So, yeah, there you go. So there's an extra loss on our records. Cowboys got upset by the Bears. I thought the Cowboys were going to get it done.
I was not expecting that, but that Cowboys defense.
Oh, it's bad.
Good Lord. That Cowboys defense.
Ours is bad right now, too. So
we can't even talk. But still.
Is ours that bad? I don't know. We'll see. I guess we'll see. We'll see this weekend.
Never mind. Not going to bring it up.
I don't feel like we're going to get dog walked like that on defense. I think we're going to get dog walk. We'll talk about it later. Anyway, last thing I think we need to bring up is the Raiders Commanders. Dom was dead wrong on that one. I had the Commanders.
Dude, okay. Can I explain?
Yeah, real quick.
I wholeheartedly thought that I'm sorry. Okay, let me just apologize first and foremost. Commanders, my bad. That's just Commanders fans, my bad. Okay?
I mean, the Raiders are awful. I told you. I tried to tell you.
Dude, I thought the Raiders were going to be able to pull this off. I know Jaden Daniels was not playing. I haven't seen Mariota play in a minute, so I didn't know how he was going to play, but he showed up. The Commanders showed up, and they got that dub, man. So I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong, and I was dead wrong.
I was
picking the Raiders. So
I stopped trusting them after week 2 when I picked them to beat the Chargers. And after I saw how they were played on offense, I said I'm never picking this team again.
Yeah, they got some soul searching to do. The Raiders,
especially on the offensive side of the ball. Their defense is decent, but their offense is really, really struggling.
Yeah. That's my bad. I thought one thing and another thing happened. So
no, it's completely all right. I'm fine with you getting some losses under your belt.
Oh, I bet you are.
So that brings up our weekly totals now through 4 weeks. Dom is still leading with a 32-16 record, but I'm making a comeback. I'm 31-18. So just a couple games off to eclipsing his very nice record. He's about to lose.
I'm picking all favorites this week, so
he's
going
a couple losses away from going under that 2-1 win ratio of 32-16. So we'll see how he does in week 4 and how I do in week 4 as well. Let's get into it. I'm ready.
All right, ladies and gents, let's get into it. Let's share this screen. As you can see, Thursday Night Football tomorrow night, we are heading to Arizona. That's the Seahawks face off against the Arizona Cardinals for Thursday Night Football. Gonz, what do you got?
I think I got to take the Seahawks here. I mean, they've been playing some pretty good ball recently. They had a nice victory against Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, and they destroyed the Saints at home. Their defense is playing well. Darnold is looking pretty decent. Give me the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Seahawks too here. I think I trust their defense a little more than I trust Arizona's. I feel like they'll be able to get more stops. I saw a stat. I don't know how accurate it is, but the Seahawks have yet to allow a single rushing touchdown, or at least just one rushing touchdown in the first 3 weeks, which is a little insane. We wish. But yeah, I'm gonna trust the Seahawks and that Mike McDonald-led defense to get it done in Arizona. So give me the Seahawks as well. All right, so Minnesota against Pittsburgh, but we're heading to Dublin, Ireland, a part of the NFL's mission to take games more internationally. The Vikings will be taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers in Dublin, Ireland. Gonz, who's walking away with the win?
Oh, I was hoping you would do this one first. This is a tough one.
I'm trying to interchange it because I feel like I started the first couple last time, so I'm trying to give you.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll just have to make a quicker decision. This is a very interesting game because I think the Minnesota Vikings have looked better this season than the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, they just look sloppy. Their defense is nowhere near what it used to be. Oh, my gosh. I really want to pick Minnesota here. All right. I guess I'll do it, but give me the Vikings. This is one of those games where the Vikings should win, but you know how Pittsburgh plays, and you know how they won last week with 6 fumbles. I mean, are the teams they play just going to self-implode every week? Minnesota, I'm rooting for you. You can do it. Play your game. Give me the Minnesota Vikings.
I'm going to take the Vikings too here. Will the Pittsburgh voodoo magic travel across seas? We will have to see, but I don't know, man. I like Minnesota here. I just don't know. I have to see. Carson Wentz put up a really good performance in week 3. I mean, he didn't make bad decisions with the football. Didn't play oh my gosh, knock my socks off, but he played well. He did what he had to do to get the win. And they absolutely dog walked. Hold on, let me make sure. Who was their last opponent again? Hold on, folks. Sorry.
Who, the Vikings? Bengals.
Yeah. Bengals, thank you. So they absolutely dog walked the Bengals. Now, mind you, Bengals.
Now you got to switch it back to week 4.
Yeah. So, wait, is it not in week 4? Oh, shoot, it's still in week 3. Sorry, folks. So you still have to take that into account that the Bengals did not have their quarterback, but that defense got dog walked, and the Vikings were able to make multiple turnovers. Isaiah Rodgers had the game of his life last week, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week because of that performance. So I don't know, man. I think they can rattle Rodgers. I'm gonna go with the Vikings here to get this dub.
You know what? I think I'm gonna have to change my pick because something's telling me that this is an easily winnable game for the Vikings, but some stupidity is going to happen, and the Steelers are going to walk away with the victory, even though they were dominated all day long, outplayed, but they still get the win. I just have a bad feeling about this one. But, even if I'm wrong, hey, this Pittsburgh Steelers lose, and that's fine with me.
That's cool.
So, I'm switching my pick. Something's telling me that the Steelers are going to just escape narrowly with a BS victory like they always do. And those stupid fans are going to be chirping away like they were when we lost to the Lions. Oh, we're winning. We beat the Jets, and we beat the Patriots. We got 6-4. I mean, I I hate it, but I have to give them the victory here. Something's telling me they're going to just BS their way to victory per usual. Anyway.
All right, I'm going Vikes. Gonz is going those Steel Boys. All right.
Vikings, feel free to prove me wrong. I would love it.
All right, returning to the United States, we have the Washington Commanders heading to Georgia to face those Atlanta Falcons. Gonz, who do you got?
You would think that this is an easy Commanders victory, but I know what happened with the Falcons last week. We forgot to talk about that. They got absolutely dismantled by the Carolina Panthers, 30-0.
That was bad.
Unbelievable. I don't know. It seems like the Panthers kind of have the Falcons' number. I think they usually beat them like once a year. I didn't take that into consideration. But the Falcons, I don't feel like they're as bad as that loss showed. And, something tells me they're still going to have some decent games. But this is a tough one. I think I'm going to have to roll with the Commanders, though. I don't trust the Falcons right now as much. But would it surprise me if they won? No, because they could bounce back immediately. They got weapons. They got Bijan Robinson. They got a decent defense. I don't think they're going to get destroyed like they did last week. Mariota, is he going to play again? I don't know. I think I guess I'll have to I think I trust the Commanders just a little bit more, even with their backup quarterback, to get the job done on the road.
I'm going to go with Atlanta here. I think they're going to want to bounce back after getting absolutely dog-walked by the Panthers and putting up a donut in that game. I think the pass rush is going to be even more pissed off, like it was in that Vikings game when they gave J.J. McCarthy absolute hell, knocked him out. I think even that was the game I believe he got injured in, and he is still yet to return. So I'm going to take the Falcons here at home. I think they bounce back and get a win over the Commanders. All right. Okay. I feel like this one might not need too much explanation, Gonz. I feel like I shouldn't even ask you, but obviously for the sake of the episode, I'm still going to ask you. Saints are heading to Buffalo to face off against them Buffalo Wings. Should I ask you who do you got, or
I mean, I'm taking the Bills, but why? My question is, why do they have the most cupcake schedule ever? It feels. You got after they played us and they didn't look that good and they stole a victory. They've just played the worst teams in the league. I mean, 2 0-3 teams, and then actually 3 0-3 teams: Jets, Dolphins, and Saints. Like, how can we really see what the Bills are when they're playing just the bottom of the league? But whatever, give me the Bills.
We won't see. I don't think we'll see a more serious matchup until they go against Kansas City.
It's ridiculous. I mean, we're sitting here playing Super Bowl contenders each and every week, and they're playing nothing, and their record looks beautiful.
All right. Well, we got a battle, but I'm also taking those Buffalo Bills. No explanation needed. It's the Saints.
They're the runner-ups of the AFC Championship. Like, what? Why is their schedule so easy? I just don't get it. I don't know. I don't think they have a really decent opponent until week 9 when I think they faced the Chiefs week 9. I mean, we finished below them in the standings at the end of the season last year in the playoffs. Why do we have a gauntlet and they don't have anything?
I don't know. We got schedule makers. All right, heading to the next matchup. Them Cleveland Browns are heading to the team that just dog walked us. Not score-wise, but just on the field-wise. Them Detroit Lions. Gonz, who's taking it?
I think this will be a more competitive game than a lot of people think, but I still think the Lions being at home, their offense is going to be too much for the Browns defense. They'll score just enough points to get it done, and that's not to mention how much their offense struggles on the Cleveland side of the ball. With Flacco at quarterback, I think the Lions are going to get after him. Hutchinson, the rest of those guys will be just fine. I think they'll stop the run. I think they'll be okay and get the win at home pretty handily, but it'll be probably closer than you think. Maybe 7 to 10 point win.
I think you took the words right out of my mouth. How I was going to begin I think it's going to be a little more competitive than some people might think as well. This Cleveland Browns defense, I don't even know if it's underrated, but dang, they are good. You have to give credit where credit is due. What they did to that Bengals offense when fully healthy. And a lot of people will have Joe Burrow over Jared Goff. But I mean, I think like you said, they'll get after Goff. But at the end of the day, I just think, like you said, this Detroit offense is just something special, and they will keep trying to crack at the wall like they did against us, and something will break. So give me Detroit here as well. All right, heading over to that next matchup. The Panthers are taking on the New England Patriots. Who do you got?
This is another interesting game because both teams, well, the Patriots coming off a loss, but they looked pretty good overall in that game. If you take away the 6 fumbles, they were moving the ball, they were playing pretty good defense, and they're at home. And the Panthers, they looked great, 30-0 at their home. I think I'm going to take the New England Patriots. I feel like their defense is going to be just a little too much for Bryce Young, and I feel like that Drake May can have a decent day at home. So give me the Patriots and a handled victory.
I think the Patriots defense can outmatch the Panthers defensively. I think I trust them a little bit more to get more stops. So I think I'm going to take the Patriots here too. I think it's another close competitive game, like we talked about with Cleveland, Detroit. But I'm going to take the Patriots to get the dub. All right, moving on. We got those hot Chargers in Los Angeles taking on a New York Giants team who will be starting Jackson Dart. It was just recently announced, ladies and gentlemen, Jackson Dart will be the starting quarterback against Los Angeles at home. Gonz, what do you got?
I have the Chargers winning this one. I think they're getting a break by playing a rookie quarterback. And I mean, this will be Jackson Dart's very first start in the NFL in a regular season game. And I think the pass rush is going to be too much for him. The Chargers have been a pretty good defense this year. And I think it'll be too much for the rookie. So give me the Chargers in a pretty I think it's going to be closer. I think Dart can make some plays, but I still think the Chargers pull away.
Yeah, I don't know why you start Dart in this game specifically against the Chargers team, who again is coming off some pretty good wins these past couple of weeks and is hungry for more. And the defense has been playing well. Herbert's been playing out of his mind. I just don't think this is the best game to start him. But I mean, if you look from the coach's perspective, I mean, they're 0-3. They need a spark. Russ wasn't providing it, unfortunately. So you look to Dart and see what you can do. But unfortunately, I think Dart will lose his first start, bars, and Chargers will get the dub here as well. All right, heading over, Philly taking on Tampa Bay. I think this one could be, well, other than our game, of course, this could be another one of those matchup of the week contenders. Philly and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay always gives Philly problems. Like, Sirianni does not have a great record against Tampa Bay. They seem to have a formula on how to really contain this Philadelphia Eagles team, and they do it really well. They're in Tampa Bay at home. I'm almost kind of want to pick the upset here. I'm not gonna lie to you. In this game, you know what? You can only live once. I'm gonna go with I think Tampa Bay takes this game against Philly. I think Philly gets their first loss this weekend. Especially if I mean, obviously this past week, I mean, the past game opened up a lot more in that second half, which led to the Eagles to make that comeback. But I'm gonna go Tampa Bay here. Why not? Make them upset.
Yeah, I last week I hit it right on the head with the LA Rams versus Eagles game, that the Rams were going to provide that sort of wake-up call to this offense because they really weren't doing much. Hurts was barely doing anything. I mean, they were scoring, 20 points a game averaging? Scored 24 against the Cowboys, and they scored, 20? Was it 20 or 23 against the Chiefs? I can't remember.
I think it was 20.
20? Okay. So, they needed some sort of a spark. And going down 19 coming out of the third quarter was that spark they needed, because then Philly started to hit a lot of things in the passing game. Barkley, not as effective this year as people anticipated overall, I don't think. But Hurts being able to throw the ball and remind everybody that they still can beat you through the air, that's pretty big. And it wasn't against a bad team either. It was against a pretty good Rams team. So yeah. Ooh. I think, and even though they lost, I picked. I had the Rams winning that, and they really should have. But it took 2 blocked field goals to put it away for Philly. I still think they're going to get it done. But you're right, they have given them issues. But I think that if they are able to throw the ball more and stay true to who they are at the same time, I think they'll be all right. So give me the Eagles. I think they'll get it done. But it wouldn't shock me if the Bucks did win.
You bring up a good point, too, about Hurts just airing it out in that second half. You just got to give credit to his decision-making there, too. I mean, I know people like to keep him out of the top 5, but I believe he is a top 5 quarterback just based off that performance. All right, heading into that next matchup, Tennessee is heading to Texas to take on them Houston Texans. I think we finally see the Texans bounce back here against the Titans. CJ has not looked great. I know you've alluded to it a couple of times. He has not looked great to start the year. Didn't look awesome last year. But I think he's due. I think he's due for a good one. And I think he can get it against the Tennessee Titans team. Not saying there's going to be a blowout by any means, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just saying I think the Texans win this one because they need one bad. They need one really, really bad. And I think this is where they get it.
Yeah, I just don't think I've seen enough from the Titans to give me any confidence that they'll get it done. Because, I mean, this is about as vulnerable as an opponent can get if you're the Tennessee Titans. So this would be the week to pick them. But I just don't think I've seen enough. I mean, they got pounded by the Colts. The Broncos, they had a lot of turnovers on Bo Nix, but they couldn't get it done. They couldn't finish the game off. They couldn't punch it in the end zone. And I forget who they played in week 2, but they have another loss. They're 0-3. So I don't know. It's at Texans home too. So I guess I think I have to pick the Texans, but this might be an ugly game and it might not be pretty. But the Texans need this because they have a trip to Baltimore coming up right after this game. So give me the Houston Texans.
You bring up a good point. They are next on the schedule after we face off against the Chiefs. So they definitely need a win under their belt before they come to Baltimore. All right, next matchup. This is actually an interesting one. The Indianapolis Colts taking on the Los Angeles Rams. Now, the Colts are kind of on a run right now. They are undefeated. Daniel Jones is playing pretty well. He's playing mistake-free football, getting out of the pocket when he needs to, taking hits, but getting right back up and saying, y'all can't touch me for real. I mean, the Colts look good, but I think the run ends here for them because the Rams, after blowing that game against the Eagles, they're out for blood. I think they take this one against the Colts at home in LA.
I'm going to ride with the Colts here.
I can't wait to hear this explanation. What do you got?
Look, I just feel like they're going to get it done. All right. I mean, the Rams offense, I think they had probably their best showing last week against the Eagles, but there was still room for improvement because they were not getting in the end zone. They were kicking a lot of field goals, and that was another reason why the Eagles were able to hang around and make that comeback. Because if they would have gotten touchdowns on all those field goals they got in the first half, the game might have been over by halftime. So I don't know. I wish it was at Indy's home, but I mean, I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah, this will be my upset of the week, I guess. I'm gonna trust them, and I mean, it's not the line for LA. It's not that big. It's like LA by 3.5.
Minus 3.5. Yeah.
Yeah. So people think the Colts have a kind of a shot here, and I think this will really see where the Colts stand when it comes to, are they a good team? Are they a fake team? So even if they lose this, I don't even feel like they're a bad team, but we'll see how the game plays out. But I'll go ahead just for fun. I'll pick the Colts and see.
I'm not gonna lie. If this game is as competitive there's going to be a lot of people who owe Daniel Jones an apology. I'm just going to put that out there in perspective right now. There's going to be some people who owes Daniel Jones an apology, especially the way he's been performing. If you're right and the Colts pull this off against a Rams team that I'm very, very high on, I've spoken on them highly all year, it's going to have to be some conversations, man. I'm just saying, I'm not saying he's top 5 all time, but I'm saying, like, there's going to have to be some conversations. All right, moving on. Jacksonville taking on them San Francisco 49ers. The Niners, man, they are so banged up right now. It's not even funny. It's just super unfortunate for them because it seems as though they have a roster to contend every year, but they just never all make it to the end, which sucks. But I'm not going to lie. Do I trust Jackson? Who do I trust more out of these two teams, San Francisco or Jacksonville? I'm taking San Fran, and I'm going to run with it.
I think this Jaguars team could pose some issues if the Niners offense does not get it going because they barely got it done against the Cardinals last week. And it's going to be Mac Jones again, right? Another week with no Brock Purdy.
Let me double check that for you before I tell you.
Okay. Well, it doesn't really matter because I'm going with the Niners anyway. But I still feel like they got to be careful. They're going to have to really be sharper on offense because they're not going to be able to get away with scoring 16 points and winning every single week. It was fortunate, though, they're playing the Cardinals and the Jaguars here, and they're not playing somebody like the Rams or the Eagles or the Bills or somebody. So, yeah, go ahead and give me the Niners.
Purdy was limited at 49ers practice today, so he could return for Sunday. Just want to give everybody that. Okay. So we're all picking Niners there. We are skipping Baltimore, Kansas City because we're going to bring you guys that this weekend. All right, moving on. Them Chicago Bears are heading to Vegas to take on the Raiders. Two teams who are kind of in a weird spot, right? Chicago's coming off a great win against Dallas. Momentum is high right now. I think that was Ben Johnson's first official win as head coach. So they got the first one out of their belt. Now they're going against a Raiders team who is soul searching right now. Do I feel like this Raiders defense can maybe rattle Caleb Williams? Potentially, but I feel as though the Bears' weapons are just more vast than the Vegas's weapons, and that Raiders offensive line, man, is just not been great. I think I'm just gonna I'm gonna roll with Chicago here to beat the Raiders at home.
Well, I'm at a crossroads here because I'm gonna have to break one of my promises because I said I'm never picking either one of these teams again until they show me something.
Well, unfortunately, it's not really your fault because they're just. This is just the way that the way the schedule falls,
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and pick the Raiders here. Okay. I think they're going to make a bounce back performance. I don't fully trust the Bears. I know they had a good win, but are they going to be able to show that consistency? And I think the Raiders defense is miles better than Dallas's. So I feel like Caleb Williams is going to have a lot more issues than he did last week. Now the question is this Geno Smith-led offense going to generate enough to get this done? And thankfully it's at their home. So I feel like that the defense will play better and keep the game close, kind of like what it did the Chargers game. So it's going to be up to whether Geno can capitalize on the opportunities because I think Caleb's going to throw some picks and I think they'll have some turnovers. So go ahead, Las Vegas. I think I'm going to take you. I guess that's another upset too. Technically, because Chicago is -1.5 for this one. Yeah, give me the Raiders pulling it off. I think they get back in the win column.
All right.
It's not pretty.
Next up, Sunday Night Football. Big time matchup. Them Green Bay Packers. Micah Parsons returns to Dallas for the first time since he's been traded to the Packers. This is going to be a fun one. I will be tuned in for this one. I think it's going to be interesting to watch. But don't get it twisted. The Packers are winning this game. I just don't. I just don't. Let's just put all this to bed right now. The Packers are going to win this game. I don't think they're going to. We all remember what happened when the Packers last saw the Cowboys. It was all night long, basically. But I think the Packers get this one. I think Micah sacks Dak Prescott at least once. I think he finishes that game with at least a 1.5 sacks in that game Sunday night.
Ooh, this could be an interesting game because I just can't pick the Cowboys though. I mean their defense has just not shown me enough at all this season. I mean they looked pretty decent in the second half of the Eagles game, but other than that they've just gotten roasted by the Giants, who are a terrible offense, and the Bears, who has not been so hot either. So I don't think that there's any reason that they're going to bounce back. If there's any solace, if you're a Cowboys fan, is that Jordan Love and that Packers offense had big problems last week. So maybe you could sort of build upon that and see what the Browns were doing. But your D-line is not Cleveland's, and it's just not. I don't think it's going to happen personally. So go ahead and give me the Dallas Cowboys, the Green Bay Packers to get it done against the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, folks, and we got to end our slates. We got 2 games on Monday night doubleheader, if you will. The New York Jets are heading to the Miami Dolphins, a battle of 2 teams looking for salvation this NFL season. I'm not gonna lie, this is probably one of the more difficult games to pick because I don't know who's starting for the Jets. Miami was heartbroken after that game against the Bills. I don't know, man. This one's tough. If I had to pick just because they're at home and they need a win bad, I think I'm probably gonna roll with. Oh, this is just ugly, dude. This is probably one of the more ugliest games we've had to pick. It is. I'm sorry. It's bad. You know what? I'm rolling with Miami. They're gonna want to win at some point. I'm gonna roll with Miami here.
I mean, both teams looked better in week 3 in their losses. I mean, the Jets were just a couple plays away from stunning the team.
Almost. They were right there. They were right there.
So, and Miami was toe-to-toe with Buffalo up until the end of the middle of the fourth quarter when they got penalized for, I think it was Zach Sealer who roughed the punter, and they got a free first down and ended up scoring off of it, and the Dolphins. And then Tua drove them down and threw a pick. So they were competitive. I know a lot of them. I think we predicted that too. We predicted Miami was going to go in there and keep it close. And they were in position to win the game. So shout out to them and the Jets for almost pulling it off against their upset matchups. So yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with the Dolphins. I feel like that they're just going to do a little bit more. There's a little bit more firepower on their offense. I don't know if Justin Fields will be back. He was dealing with a concussion. So Tyrod Taylor was the starter last week. And, yeah, they did score 27 points. One of those was a blocked field goal return for a score. So if I have to pick the better offense, I'm picking the Dolphins. Yeah, give me the Miami Dolphins. Getting their first win.
And the final game on Monday Night Football, we're talking them Cincinnati Bengals heading to Denver, who had a really good game last year. Excuse me. They had a really good game last year. I think the Bengals ended up taking that one, if I'm not mistaken.
It was, yes.
They were this close to making the playoffs after having a horrific start to the season. And that win against Denver pretty much would have put them there, but they needed too many scenarios to make it work, and it did not work for them. But Cincinnati is going to Denver, but this time without Joe Burrow, as he still deals with his turf toe. So with that being said, Denver's going to be looking for one after losing to LA. Jake Browning, man, he did not look great against the Vikings. I mean, it was just not a great showing for him. And I think they're going to roll with him as a starter this week again. So I think Denver bounces back. That defense is going to play well against the Cincinnati Bengals, and I think Denver takes this one.
Yeah, I rolled with the Bengals last week, and oh my gosh, they got blown out of the water by Carson Wentz and the Vikings.
I told you.
It wasn't because of Wentz, though. It was because of the defense.
But I also said I trusted Kevin O'Connell.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, whatever. Yeah. You did.
Hey, I'm just saying.
You did.
Saying.
I still to this day think that Browning is a better quarterback than Wentz is right now. Not in general, just right now.
Who played better though?
But well, I mean, he didn't really do much. He was efficient, so good job.
That's all. Sometimes that's all you need to do.
Yeah, but Browning. Yeah, they have to pass to win if you're Bengals. But anyway, yeah, I can't pick them again. They've got a much tougher defense. Well, the defense of the Vikings was tough too. This is just another tough one that they'll have to do in Denver. And then Bo Nix in the offense, are they going to finally break out? Like this is a good opportunity for them to do it at home against a poor defense. They got 41 points dropped on them last week. Now we'll see if that was a fluke because they did play. I guess they played a little bit better against those other two teams in week 1, or 1 and 2, week 1 and 2. But now we'll see if that was a fluke 40 burger last week. I don't think Denver's going to score 40 because that's just not their offense. But I still think they're going to get it done. And I think the defense will get to Browning and force him into more mistakes. So yeah, give me the Broncos at home.
All right, guys. Well, those are our full predictions for the week. Let us know what we got right. Let us know what we got wrong in the comment section down below. We appreciate you guys for interacting with us on the last live stream we did post-game after the Ravens' loss Monday night. A lot of interactions from you guys. Got a couple of likes on that, comments. We love seeing that from you all. So thank you so much again for that. Don't be afraid to leave a like and comment on here. Subscribe to the channel. We just love talking to you guys. We love talking football with you. Gonz, anything you want to add before we wrap it up tonight?
No. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how these games start. There's a lot of cool matchups. We got to come back, and we do got to, unfortunately for Dom, we got to talk about Baltimore for the pregame and see if we can bounce back. So that's what's on the horizon down the road in a few days, but we'll see. It's a long season. It's only September. Like you just said, the Bengals started 1-4, 1-5, and they were in position to go to the playoffs at the end of the year last year. If just one thing fell their way. So you just never know. It's so early. It's too early to quit on them yet. So we'll see.
We'll see. I understand I was being a little over dramatic following Monday night's loss, but at the end of the day, we got to be better. That's
heck yeah. I'm not saying we should.
But yeah, folks, we're going to call it a night here. Thank you again for watching Dom and Gonz Sports Talk. Again, thank you for tuning in to our Week 4 predictions. We will be back for you guys for Ravens Chiefs pregame. We'll have injury updates for you and all that from that. I know maybe I'll touch on it really quickly. I know you all heard the news that Nnamdi Madubuike is already ruled out for Sunday's matchup against the Chiefs. All of our starting interior defensive linemen were out today in practice. They did not practice today. Ronnie Stanley did not practice today due to an injury. Ricard is still out, but likely is back in practice. So that is a good sign for him to possibly make his debut Sunday. But we're going to touch more on that on Saturday when we do our pregame show. But until then, ladies and gents, we're going to call this a night. I'm Dom. That's Gonz. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back shortly for that pregame.
And go Ravens.